practiced in very different ways. Meditation can be part of it, but does not have to be. There are many practical exercises in the practical part. The 7 Pillars of Mindfulness. Jon Kabat-Zinn, a modern representative of mindfulness, has summarized the inner attitude on which it is based very clearly and easily understandable in 7 pillars of mindfulness. They could also be described as the core values of mindfulness. These are non-judgment, patience, beginner's mind, trust, not forcing, acceptance, and letting go. So to understand this better, it makes sense to take a closer look at these 7 pillars. Non-judgment. The first pillar of mindfulness is non-judgment. In this case, not judging is equivalent to not evaluating, such as to perceive and observe value-free. We humans always tend to evaluate everything and everyone, including ourselves, our thoughts, feelings, etc., based on our experiences, patterns, and beliefs. We're used to thinking in categories and thus to judge some thoughts, feelings, people, and situations as good, beautiful, wonderful, or positive, and others as bad, terrible, unattractive, and negative. In this way, our brain creates order in the flood of impressions that are constantly pelting us. If something or someone does not fit into these categories or cannot be clearly categorized, we become nervous. At the same time, however, this also means that the attempt to stop judging altogether would fail anyway, because our brain is geared that way and even needs this judging and evaluating in order to cope. However, a mindful attitude and regular mindfulness practice can greatly help us to notice when we are judging. It is not necessarily a matter of not evaluating at all, but of noticing the evaluation and the thoughts about it and observing them first. If we notice that we have evaluated something, it is not a matter of judging this evaluation as bad, but simply to perceive it without reacting further to it or to move these evaluative thoughts on and, if necessary, to let them go. So, if we manage to perceive the evaluation but let it move on afterwards, we allow ourselves to deal with situations and people in a less biased way, which we might otherwise have evaluated as negative, difficult, or stressful. This opens up many more possibilities and ways for us to deal with these situations, people, or even ourselves and everything that belongs to us. Challenges can turn into opportunities and stress into growth because our view of things can change completely. On the subject of stress, there is an extra point in the course of the book. Patience. The second pillar of mindfulness is patience. Patience means, according to the dictionary, having perseverance in calmly, controlledly, indulgently enduring or waiting for something. So it means that we accept and understand that everything takes its time and does not go faster the more we get angry or upset about it. The blade of grass does not grow faster when you pull on it. In mindfulness, this means first and foremost that we may also be patient with ourselves. Yes, we may be as patient with ourselves as with the blade of grass, because mindfulness is a matter of practice and requires a lot of rest and time. Body and mind are allowed to slowly approach and get used to being more and more often completely in the moment, doing nothing and staying in the here and now without distractions, especially if body and mind are not used to that. Making this work is a process, a growth process like that of a blade of grass, and everyone grows at different rates. This is roughly comparable to sports workouts, regular trips to the gym, or running training. Here, too, the body must first slowly get used to the movement, and the muscles only gradually become stronger and more defined and can be used more consciously and in a more targeted manner. Here, we usually also do not expect that after only one workout the belly becomes a six-pack, or that we already have the endurance for a marathon after the first run. It is connected with training and needs just as much patience as mindfulness training. So there will always be days when we find it difficult to focus at first and get distracted by external things or our own thoughts. This is okay and quite natural, and therefore no reason to become impatient. The more often we practice mindfulness, the more often it will work and the more purposefully we can direct our minds. Being patient means giving ourselves time and not expecting too much of ourselves in the process. Spirit of the beginner. The beginner's mind is the third pillar of mindfulness.